Welcome back to CTV News Channel. I'm Jennifer Burke, and there are some people watching this election from abroad, besides us. Of course, Americans who do not live in the United States but are eligible to vote. So what's been their perspective on what's been unfolding in the United States over the last 24 hours? I have two people to bring on board. Those who voted in the U.S. election from abroad, Mark Feigenbaum, who is a cross-border tax lawyer and the chair of the Canadian chapter of Republicans Overseas, and Steve Nardi, chair of Democrats Abroad Canada. So let's start with you, Mark. First of all, I want to get your reaction to what the president had to say regarding allegations, unproven, unsubstantiated, of voter fraud, Democratic illegal shenanigans, however you want to characterize it. What's your take?
Well, I think that everyone just wants every vote counted that was legally cast, and I think there's just some questions that need to be resolved. I guess I'm mostly concerned about Nevada right now. There was 50,000 or so votes that were supposed to be counted. Now there's 200,000 votes that were counted, and their process is just a little strange. They mail a ballot to every person, and then some people. I think they want to make sure that everything was done properly, and the state followed its own rules basically. And I think that was the bulk of what he was saying, and maybe not direct way, but that is a concern. It's just that all these new votes that are coming out now are all mostly from counties that are Democrat. In some of these states, there's only one or two counties that are Democrat, yet all the ballots seem to be coming from there. So I think it needs some explaining and figuring out what to do to make sure everything gets counted properly.
Why do mail-in votes that are expected to be Republican votes count, but mail-in votes that are assumed to be Democrat votes don't count? Shouldn't every vote count?
Well, no, I think every vote should count that was legally cast and followed the rules. Every state has its own rules for the election, and the states, if they follow their own rules, whichever ones that were legally cast should count with whoever they're for.
Right, but aren't the states able to decide themselves whether or not a vote was legally cast? And why are only illegal votes perceived to be Democratic votes?
Well, I don't think I don't think only illegal votes are Democratic votes. I just think that
I think the president thinks that.
I think it so happens, like let's use back to Nevada, for instance, that there's only two counties in the whole state that vote Democrat, yet these 190,000 votes, I think 160 they're saying come from this one county. So it could be legitimate, and it's just because that's the largest county, it is Clark County. But I guess we need to clarify why these are all of a sudden these votes are yet to be counted and appear, because as I said, there only was 60,000 votes to be counted a couple hours ago, right? So I think once it's all explained, we can determine whether it's legitimate or not.
So do you have faith in the electoral system? Do you think the numbers that we're seeing are correct, or do you think that this election was stolen from Donald Trump?
Well, that's a pretty big thing. As I think that I think it needs to be settled, and I didn't think it was going to be settled on Tuesday night or Wednesday night or even Thursday. I think it's going to take some time we're talking about mass numbers of mail-in votes, and if you see any of the pictures of just the tubs and tubs of different ballots that are all pieces of paper, I think it will get sorted out, and I'm hoping it's going to be legitimately sorted out, but I think it just needs to all be counted, and people need to be patient, I suppose.
Steve, you're the chair of Democrats Abroad. Tell me your reaction to what the president had to say, and also sort of the response that you had as you talked to people who aren't living in the U.S. but have the right to vote.
Thank you, Jennifer. I find it fascinating that it's been legitimate for every race that a Republican has run, except for Donald Trump. Each county, each state has their own systems for counting the ballots. We know there's one state out of 50 states that certified their votes this week. The rest of the states have up until the last state that certifies their vote is California in December 11th. Donald Trump doesn't declare who wins this election. Joe Biden doesn't declare who wins this election. The media, we're used to the media being able to predict based on early results and exit polling that they've done. Exit polling this year, it would be heavily skewed to the Republicans because Democrats have been working so hard in a pandemic, not wanting to have more super spreader events by encouraging all Americans to cast their vote by mail. county clerk offices, they couldn't ramp up to accommodate the volume that we're seeing. Counties are losing tax revenues. They were not, I know it from my county in Lansing, Michigan, those people have been working 7 days a week since Labor Day just to be ready for this week, where they couldn't even begin to count or even deal with it till yesterday. This is no different than we've gone through every other election cycle. What's different is we've got millions more people participating and millions more ballots to be counted. There are no illegal ballots out there. There's just many more mail-in ballots. In Georgia, there's still, I think, 8,900 ballots from abroad Americans that are still expected to arrive by tomorrow. That's been an established time frame, and now to question the legitimacy of those coming in late. There are Republicans as well as Democratic voters. I don't get this, and I find it frightening. I cannot believe, generally I don't listen to much of what he has to say. And a part of me wishes I did not listen to what I heard just earlier, because it's democracy's on the line here with what I heard tonight. And I call on Republicans, the leadership, his cabinet, they've got to put an end to this.
I have 30 seconds left for each of you. So, Mark, how do you see this moving forward? How do you see the next 24 hours unfolding?
I don't think we're going to see anything in the next 24 hours. I think this is going to go longer until until the votes are counted. And I was actually agreeing that there's just millions and millions of more votes, and some are Democrats, some are Republican, but I want to feel comfortable in that every vote that was cast was legal. It wasn't somebody's second or somebody who wasn't entitled to vote. But we have
everybody
to have
wants
every
that,
state
Mark.
legislature does that.
Doesn't everybody want that?
I think so. That's why and so I think that once maybe the issue is that every state having a different system is the problem, but that's a discussion for another day. I don't think it's come up a whole lot because the mail-in vote hasn't been a lot of the time in history enough to change the result anyways, even if 100% of them went one way or the other. We're talking about a significant amount of more, as well as the total vote is almost like 20 million more at this point than it was last election as well.
Yeah. Steve, quick last word for you.
Everybody remain calm. We're working to get every vote counted as it should be, is guaranteed under the Constitution. Give it time. Understand each state works differently. They only have so many resources as to count. Let it work out. We're almost there. And I'll be confident in the end that Joe's going to cross that line to 270. Let's be calm.
Steve Nardi, Mike Feigenbaum, I do appreciate both of your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good night.
Okay. We'll take a quick